there.
Okay. If you're going to come in, it's okay to hit the button, but if you're not going to come in, letting the cold air in, and the building costs a lot to heat.
This is Susan Bassi, and this is a public courthouse that costs taxpayers in California $283 million to build. And the officer speaking to me is a member of the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department who is contracted to guard this courthouse, which is currently closed due to public health and safety issues related to the pandemic.
And the clerk's office is closed, and that is also newsworthy. And now you're going to regulate how I open or close a door?
Okay, especially when you're filming inside the building.
And apparently, more than being concerned about the heating costs, this officer is concerned about my recording through glass of that $283 million courthouse.
Outside.
At 1:30.
Yeah.
And it's 3:25.
That's newsworthy.
Been like this for a while.
Actually, last week I got a press release saying that the clerk's office was closed. So that sign differs from what the press release said.
Okay. All right.
This is a public courthouse, officer. This place was just graffitied. It is all over social media,
Yes.
and I came
we caught
down.
the person.
Good for
Yes.
you. And how much did it cost to clean up?
That would be something you could bring up with the court. I don't
That's
know.
right. I'm going to do a public records request, but I
Okay.
came down to film it.
Okay.
And this is newsworthy. And you holding the courthouse doors closed.
I didn't hold him closed.
You did. You just did. I filmed it. What is your name? What is your name?
I didn't hold him closed. They don't
What
stay
is your
closed.
name and your badge number?
Right here. M. Heiser, 1742.
You do know that the Santa Clara Sheriffs are currently under investigation by the Attorney General for civil rights violations, right?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Maybe you ought to think about that.
During the pandemic, when the courthouses were largely closed, family law judges, including Andrea Flint, were sending a record number of cases to private judges, meaning people who could afford to pay for their cases could get them heard when the courthouses were closed for everyone else. And this includes the divorce case of Robert Moles, the chairman of Intero Real Estate Services, who had his divorce case heard before Catherine Gallagher. And so Catherine Gallagher collected private pay as a JAMS contractor, and JAMS collected federal money to hear hearings, and they made their business quite wealthy during the pandemic, as lawyers who appeared in these cases also got wealthy, and everybody else had to wait. But as complaints come about, we're learning a lot more about private judging and how the lawyers, like Thomas Giardi, behave in those cases.
When I decided to be a lawyer,
calling. Within 1 hour, you must take down your fraudulent bullshit statements about me on Facebook, or you're going to see another lawsuit. And if you want the money from this one, sign the agreement and send it back. Or if you don't, we'll send the money back to them. I'm not good at taking slanderous fraud out of somebody like you. If it's not there, I'm going to be looking. If it's not there, you're going to get the lawsuit.
During the 2 years of the global pandemic, when the courthouses claimed that they were closing due to public health and safety issues, a large number of clients began reporting being threatened by their attorneys to go into private judging. And these cases were not publicly posted, and the hearings were secreted, contrary to state and federal law, and we began to investigate these cases for white-collar crime and public corruption. And we also began to test the access of the public to oversee these proceedings, which the law says are public, even though the judges in them are being privately paid. And for our efforts, we were continually threatened. We recently received a letter from the lawyers of JAMS, the private judging, arbitration, and mediation business, informing us that the local court rules prohibiting recording in certain courthouses extended to their private offices.
We'll get back to you. So you understand we have a right to be here and we have a right to ask for the records.
Yes.
You don't have a right not to give us those records.
Correct. We heard you.
I'm glad. Because you don't seem like you've been hearing me. I've been asking for 3 years.
I can hear you.
Okay, well, your manager and your legal counsel don't appear to be hearing us. So we're gonna get a little louder, and you guys are gonna be the face of us getting louder. That's your employer. That's what your employer is asking you to do. They're not coming out here. The lawyers, the judges, the private judges, the arbitrators, they're not coming out here. They're making you guys do their dirty work.
Complaints about lawyers involved with jams and district attorneys, including Jeff Rosen, who completely ignored what appears to be serious white-collar crime, is evident when we consider that the private judges working for jams did not pay their employment taxes but worked as contractors when they were in fact employees.
Our normal business hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you know your party's extension, you may enter it at any time. David Stevens, extension 201.
This is Dave Stevens. I'm either out of the office or away from my desk. Please leave a message and I will return your call as soon as I can. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Stevens. My name is Susan Bassi. I'm an investigative reporter, and I'm presently looking into some irregularities with the PPP money that JAMS received during the pandemic. And I'm also looking at how you have categorized on their tax returns the 180 JAMS neutrals as independent contractors when they're being given email accounts, office space, assistance, and another number of other issues. And I was wondering if you could call me back and tell me what law you rely on to give these individuals a contractor status instead of designating them as employee and paying the appropriate employment wages and insurance charges that there would be for an employee. My cell phone number is 831, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Thank you.
California's courts are much like our public beaches. We all have a right to access, use, and enjoy them. And that right extends equally to all of us. Nobody has a right to privatize these public spaces. And when they try to do so, they need to know that someone's going to be watching and make sure that that doesn't happen.
And then just one more time.
Thank you,
Corrigan,
appreciate it. We're not picking on you guys.
No,
It's
it's
just,
okay. And can I have the law you're saying was...
so there are 2 laws.
Okay.
The California Rule of Court 2.834. There's supposed to be a list posted in the courthouse of all the cases that are removed from public court to private.
Got it.
And they're either removed by court appointment under a 639 appointment, which is a referee you were just talking about, or the parties stipulate to it, which is a 638 appointment.
Got it.
Both of those proceedings are open proceedings by state, federal law, and 2.834. You'll find it in that
Okay.
rule. Additionally, all the exhibits, all the things that you do in your private business that is the business of the court because you're granted immunity and power of a judge to do that, that's under California Rule of Court 2.400. So that means if there's trial exhibits, we're entitled to walk in and see the trial exhibits of an ongoing trial. Until you finish a case and return all those dockets to the court, we are entitled to see them when they're here.
Also...
Okay, we're going to talk to your general counsel, and then we're not going to say anything else right now. We're going to talk to our general counsel, and then we'll call the number that you gave us.
Got
Also,
it.
you have our contact information,
Gave you
and
the
then
cards.
anything else.
Okay, I'm going to give you my name now. My
Okay.
name is Susan Bassi. I'm an investigative reporter. I'm investigating private judging. I've been doing it for 5 years.
Okay.
I found all these issues. So
Okay,
you just
understood.
we're just making
Thank
sure
you very
people are
much.
informed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I say your last name?
B as in boy, A, S, S, I.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.